Hello viewers, in today's video I want to show you how to construct a bar chart, though a compound bar chart. Now constructing a compound bar chart is easy, but then you need to follow the principles or the rules for this construction. Now if you've not watched my video on simple bar chart, you go and watch the video, because we're going to make use of some of the things I taught there in this particular one. Now what is a compound bar chart? Now this compound bar chart has to do with more than an occurrence happening at a given period of time. Now looking at the table, now the table we have over here, the table is more complex now than ever than the other ones we have formerly. Now this table, now we have months, we have 2018, 2019. Now we have things in 2018, 2019 occurring just in January, and in that January of each of these years. So this is what we have now, and we're having their records. So now having this, now we have 55, we have 25. The both of them are occurring just in January. So how do we represent these data in statistical terms, as in a bar chart? So we're going to look into it now. Now from the instruction we have down here, we're told something here. Using the data on monthly production of crude oil in Nigeria, construct a compound bar chart. Now let's get straight into it. Constructing a compound bar chart is very easy. Now let me show you something here. Now, the first thing I told you need to know in constructing a compound bar chart is that you need to know your highest value and the lowest value in the table or in the given table. Your highest value and your lowest value. Now, this highest value is not based on the column that it appears, but it's selected randomly. Like here, the highest value is 55 at column 2018. The lowest value is 10 at column 2019. So anywhere you get your highest and lowest value, you pick it like that. But the most important thing you need is to locate your highest and your lowest value. Now let's get started. Now from here, now we have our highest value to be what? 55, and our lowest value to be 10. Now from the other video I made, I showed you guys, I told you that you divide your highest value by your what? Lowest value. Now you now said, how many 10 am I going to find inside 55? Now let's go by approximation. By approximation, now we can set, let's multiply 10 by, let's take 5. 10 times 5 is going to give us what? 50. And then we have 50. I remember that we're still having remainder what? 5. Because what we're looking for is 55 as our highest value. Now, what is this suggesting to us now? From here, we notice that for 10, for us to make 50, 10 goes into 55, 5 successful times. So this tells us the height of our graph. The graph now is going to be either at least 5. The highest at least should be what? 5 now. But since there's a remainder here, we can say adding plus 1 to it because of remainder will make it 6. So our graph height, that is all these heights here, should climb at least 6, or at least, that is either 5 or at least 6. But it can be more than, depending on the height or the spaces you have on your graph. So now we look at it very clearly. Now we're done with this. Now we've known the height. But then what are those figures we're going to put? What are those scalings? Let's look at how do we get the scalings in our graph. How to scale your graph. To scale your graph, you make use of the same things I told you earlier. Your highest and your lowest value. And what are they? 55 and then what? 10. You need them very importantly. Now 10 is already rounded up, so it cannot round it down to maybe 5, but it should leave it at 10. But 55 here, I told you something about 55. 55 is the highest value, so you round it up. Instead of rounding it down to maybe 40, you take it up to what? 50. Instead of 50, you take it up to what? 60. So that is to say that our graph sheet is going to run, though at least 6, but then it should start from 10, and then the highest value should be what? 60. But it can be more than. Now look at what we got here. And from here, I can time this one to be what? 10. This is what? 20. Here should be 30. I have 40 here, 50, and then what? 60. Now there are other spaces here, but they can't be enough if I'm to use 2 centimeters to represent a unit there. So I'm using what? 1 centimeter to represent what? 10 units, and this graph in the y-axis. And the y-axis is the axis that contains the crude oil production. Now what about the x-axis? Now we're back to the x-axis. X-axis is the most easiest axis for you to place your values in. Now why did I say so? The only values that enter the x-axis is your month. That's all. So we have how many months here? We have 5 months here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's check if 2 centimeters is going to be better for those 5 months. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excellent. So if I'm to use 2 centimeters to represent each of this month, it's going to work perfectly. So we're going to make use of that. So we have January here, February, March, April, May, January, February, March, April, May. Good. So now we're going to make use of all these data now we have on the table. Now on the table, the first one we have in January is what? 55 and what? 25. Now you go to your table, you locate it on your graph table. Where is 55? If this is 50, then 55 should be somewhere in between 50 and 60. That is here. So this is 55. So, but before plotting your graph in a compound bar chart, you need what we call a key. You need key. Now, what is that key? Key is what differentiates each of these, like 2018 data and then 2019 data. That is why you need a key. Now, let's write it somewhere here. I need a key. Key. Now, I have two variables to deal with there, 2018 and 2019. So, if I want to represent those of 2019, they have to be different from those of 2018. So, if I'm to have a strike, maybe a bar having strikes like this, you should know that these bars having strikes are for 2018. But if I'm to have a bars having just dots, the bars having dots is for what? 2019. It's very easy to locate when you have your key. All right. So now, having this key now, we're going to plot what we have to plot. Now, the first one we have 55 for January. So let's go to January. Plot our 55 should be somewhere here. All right. So in the same January again, we have what? 25. So 25 should be in between 30 and the 20 itself. So we take it up from here. We take it to this point. So this point here should be what? 25. Excellent. But then the data are not differentiated until we do what we have in the key. The key up there said 2018 data. Which one? In 2018 is the one that's 55. So now we put strikes for 2018 data to show that this is for 2018. But for 2019 is the one that is having dots. So we'll put in dots for that of 2019. So this differentiates the data, the bars now. All right. So let's move to the next one. We have 15 and we have 10. So February have 15. Now let's go up here. This is 15. 15 should be in between 10 and 20. We have it here. And then the second work we have here is what? 10. So 10 should be here. Exactly. So this 10 and 15 occurs in February. But now let's differentiate the data here, the bars. Let's differentiate the bars. So I said that the bars that have strokes is for what? 2018. Why the bars that have dots is for what? 2019. That's all. It's very easy from here. So the next one we have 20 and then 45. We pull a line again to 20. Another line up to what? 45. So 45 should be in between 50 and the 40. So we have 45 here. Now let's differentiate the bars. The bar that has strikes is for what? 2018, while the bar that is full of dots is the bar for what? 2019. That's all. It's very easy. So the next one we have is what? April 30, 35. Now let's go to April. We'll go to 30 here, and then the next bar that we're going to have is for what? 35. So we sketch out 35. Between 30 and 40, we have 35. All right. So now let's differentiate the bars again. Don't forget to differentiate the bars. You need to differentiate the bars. So after differentiating these bars, this one is the one for dots. All right. So that is what we continue, and you do it for the other ones. With this, once we're done with this is exactly what we're going to have. Now let's move over to example 2. Now the second example I have on the board, if you look at it, we have here, we have a yam rice nut. Now the instruction down here says something. We're told that what? Using the data on monthly production of farm produce in Nigeria, construct a compound bar chart. Now, how do I construct this compound bar chart now? All right, the same way we did the first one. Now, what do we do? But here you find out that this one is even more extended. All right, we have almost 3 occurrences in 2010. Just 3 occurrences. Okay, so now we'll do the same thing we do. Firstly, I told you is that you look for your highest and your lowest value randomly from any side in the table. Now, what's our highest value here in this table? Now, if you look at this table, our highest value should be 90. All right, we have 90 to be our highest value. Meanwhile, our lowest value here is what? 10. So that makes it more easier. If you have your highest value to be what? 90, and our lowest value should be what? 10. Now, 10 is going to go into 90 9 times. All right, so 10 is going to go into 90 9 times. So it's more like saying 9 times 10 is going to give us 90. So the height of our graph is already gotten to be what? The height should be what? 9. Are you understanding this now? The height should be what? 9. So now what are we going to have? to find the highest and the lowest value now we have to get our highest and lowest value again, 90 and we have 10, in order to know our gradings and our gradings in this scale now. So let's grade this scale. If you look at this now, the two of them are already in their octets, so I will have to start at 10 and end at what, 90. Now let's grade it. So this is what, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and then what, 90. Excellent. So the next thing to do now again is to find your key. Let's get our key out here. Now this time around we are dealing with 3 occurrences. So we're going to have what, 3 keys. All right. Now let's have the 3 keys somewhere here, because we're dealing with 3 occurrences. So let's set anyone I represent with dot dot. Any bar that has dot dot should be that of what, yam, should denote yam. Any bar that has stripes should denote what, rice. Meanwhile, any bar that, let's say, that had the squares inside it, any bar that had squares inside it should be for what, nuts. So it's very important for you to have your key while doing what, your compound bar chart. Hope you understood me now. On our x-axis now, the only thing that will be on your x-axis again is what, your year. Now we'll place our year. Remember I said use 2 centimeters. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years here. Let's see whether to work. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then what, 5. Okay, it will work. So here we have this word 2010, that is 2010, 2011 up to 2014. All right, so this is what we run it up to. So the next thing now is to represent each of the information we have in our table on this bar chart using bars. All right, so the first information we have there, we have 55, 25, 80. Now let's have it here. 55 only in 2010 alone, we have 55. Now we sketch our 55 to be somewhere here. So this is 55. The next one is what, 25. So our 25 should run from here, in between 20 and 30 we have 25. And another one that we have is what, for not, that is 80, still in the same range. So we have 80 to be what, here. All right, so we have 3 occurrences just in 2000 and what. So right now, looking at the bars, we find out that the bars are differentiated. Now looking at the first bar here, if you look at the first bar now, what can you say that this bar is representing from the key over there? Of course, you will say that the first bar, since it's with dot dot dot, is representing what, yam. The second bar, the same thing. If you look at the bar, you should be able to what, trace it from the key. That is why your key is very important. So I will just do all those things and then do the last one with you. So this is exactly what we do up to the end. So looking at this now, you can be able to differentiate the bars, and you notice that my bar chart is very neat and clear. So one thing about bar charts is you need your clarity, and then let everything you do be stated neatly. So if this video have really taught you something, I want you to just give a thumbs up to the video, like, share, and then don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. See